Okay. Um, I saw a video a couple of days ago from a lady called Cha Cha online, and she was doing the intro for "Kill Yourself" Part Three by the Suicide Boys. And this is not a criticism of her technique. Her technique was fine. Her playing was fine. She sounded great. I'm not trying to get into that. Um, but the one thing I saw in her technique, in her left hand technique, was that um, she used a lot of energy that I don't think she needed to. And I talked with her about it, and a lot of it comes down to the fact that she's got small hands, and I'm okay with that. I'm not going to criticize her for that. I'm not going to criticize her for what she played. She played it great, but that did bring up to me the idea of how you use your hand to simplify your mechanism, simplify your mechanics. And I'm gonna do this with my large Santian, um, only because it's a little. I like the sounds a little better, but it's a little easier to move around and deal with than my bass guitar. So I'll show you my bass guitar later for some other ideas. But this is the instrument I'm going to use for demonstration. By the way, if you're a musician, always be ready to play. So the song itself is pretty simple. It's in the key of G major or E minor, depending on how you want to look at it. I tend to think of it as G major because the melody starts on G, but you could really look at it as E minor. But they're relative, so whatever. Um, but it's a pretty simple part. Now there, because my hand was tight, what I call playing in the box. You play it like a pentatonic major scale. You're playing. Your hand is all tightened up. You're kind of playing in this little square area, and now if you have to move your note, you have to, move your whole square. But if you loosen up your hand, open up your hand, and like I said, I was talking to Cha Cha about this, and she, if you don't have big enough hands, then that's going to be a little bit more difficult. But if you can, you open up your hands and you play it wider, play wider hands, so you don't have to use as much energy. You don't have to move your hands around as much. Notice I didn't have to move my hand the whole time. It's like I kept my hand wide, and I started on a different string, so I can move my hand around more, or I can move my fingers around more rather than have to move my hand, and that saves me energy. It's like all my energy is now conducted to playing the music rather than fighting with the instrument. I keep my fingers wide, and I can work more with the instrument rather than against the instrument. You know. Sorry, I didn't mean to lose my hand that way. Um, and my bass guitar is a perfect example of that. I play a six-string bass guitar. You know, I think it's huge. I think it's heavy. Um, but the thing is, this fifth fret on the B string. Hold on a second. Let's drop it up. This fifth fret on the B string, on the low string, that's a low E. That's a low E on a normal four-string bass. And this right here, the seventh fret on my C string is the same as a high G on a normal bass guitar. So right here, within one hand span, I've got the entire range of a normal four-string bass guitar. So I'm using less energy. I'm not moving up and down. I can hit, the low E to the high G without moving my hand. I'm just right here. So that's the idea of keep your hands wide, work your strings, and and save your energy. You don't want to be spending energy working up and down the instrument. You don't want to be spending your time. You don't want to be spending your energy on things that the audience doesn't hear. You want to focus all your attention, all your concentration, all of your energy on things the audience will hear. And that's my whole point in all this. Take care.